You want people who are going to be real and authentic and show up for you. Because let me tell you, I have more often had the speakers with smaller audiences invite people to the event and have more raving fans who want to come see them. Number 5 is the letter R, and that stands for real. We've already brainstormed undeniable yeses, and then the last step was find, and this step is real. Find real. Find real what? Well, people is where we're going to start. Start with the people. Who can you invite to collaborate with you who will be a real, authentic benefit to the team? This includes any speakers you might want to have. So let's explore this. In the last session, we talked a little bit about speakers because we started talking about topics. And speakers and their topics are very intertwined. And so if you start brainstorming topics, you're very likely to start coming up with speakers and vice versa. So if you've already begun that, wonderful. Let's continue to build off of it. We're going to use the same methodologies of mind mapping and color coding to sort through and look for patterns as we have before while you're brainstorming these speakers and other collaborators. Speakers are really easy, so we're going to use that as the initial example. It's really important that you choose the right speakers, not just the people who have a big email list, so you're hoping to capitalize on their audience. Not just the people who have a big recognizable name, so you know that they will attract people to attend your event. You want people who are going to be real and authentic and show up for you. Because let me tell you, I have more often had the speakers with smaller audiences invite more people to the event and have more raving fans who want to come see them speak on my stage, virtual or otherwise, than the big name people who have already told their signature story a million times and their people don't need it again. And so they aren't excited to attend an event where they'll hear this speaker tell the same story again one more time. Of course, there are other things going on at your event, but that speaker doesn't end up being the draw that you thought they would be. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about who you're going to invite and how and when. There are other reasons for inviting these bigger name speakers. For example, you might have a speaker who you are able to get on your stage that you're not getting for their audience. You're getting them because you know that they will attract other speakers who want to share the stage with that individual. So sometimes you might be looking at it from a different perspective, and that's totally fine. But what do we come back to? What do we always come back to? Goals and intentions. So when you're thinking about your goals and intentions, apply that to who you are inviting to speak, how many people you are inviting to speak as well. Keep in mind that if your goal or intention is to build rapport with the people in front of you and take them from just barely knowing you to fully trusting you and investing in you, you might not want to have many or any speakers besides yourself at this event, because that will allow you to set yourself up as the authority on this topic. And this is really how 5-day, 3-day challenges are set up. That type of virtual event lets you be the expert, lets you build rapport with people very quickly and take them through a certain process that you have complete control over. Even so, even if you do that, you probably need team members and other people involved, if only thinking about the people who are going to be attending and how you're going to attract them. So people are a key part of events. If you don't have a community, a network of people, your event is simply not going to happen. All right, so let's go back to the ideas of speakers. Write down anyone who comes to mind and then think about the connections that they might have and reach out to those people who you have the closest connection with first so that you get some easy yeses. The people who are in complete alignment with what this event is about. And as soon as they hear about it, they're going to be like, yes, I am so in. Count me in. Please, how do I be involved? Those are the people that you want to reach out to first. It'll help give you that energy boost and the encouragement to pitch the people who maybe wouldn't recognize you immediately, are going to go, who's this? What kind of credentials do they have? Have they run this event before? And those questions are going to start surfacing that might make you feel a little bit awkward if this is the first event that you've ever run. You're going to run into these things, and there's the potential for needing some energy backing you, essentially, needing some encouragement behind you to keep you moving forward. And that is what reaching out to the people closest to you first is going to do. There are other collaborators as well. Think about potential sponsors. Who can your event help besides the speakers? What is something that your attendees need that you can't directly provide for them? Think about products or services that you are affiliated with or that you use yourself. What do you want to recommend to other people? That's a natural place for a sponsorship. But again, don't just dive into sponsorships thinking, oh, well, of course, I'm running an event, I need sponsors, because you want to consider your goals. If your goal is to sell something of your own off the back end of this event, then a sponsor is going to water that down because you're selling multiple things. Likewise, when it comes to your speakers, if you allow them to pitch as a part of them speaking from your stage, just keep in mind that that is going to dilute the buying energy sort of coming toward you. The buying motivation that's coming toward you and your thing could be diverted toward other people. So the more holistic you can approach that as, the better. That doesn't mean that you can't let your speakers pitch from the stage. I love letting my speakers talk about what they provide from the stage because I invited those speakers because my people need what they have to offer. But I make sure that those offers are holistic so that they're not in conflict with each other, and so that potentially an attendee could buy every single thing being offered at this event and not have overlap. They just have all of their problems solved. That's the kind of perspective and abundance mindset that I want to take into my event. Think about collaborators beyond speakers and sponsors. Think about potential team members, down to who's going to take care of you the day of your live event. If you have a 2-day, all day, both days summit, who's making lunch? Is that you making sandwiches the day before so that you can just keep yourself going? Or will you have a friend over or a spouse who's responsible for actually keeping you fed and drinking water? Because that is vitally important. Think about the people who are going to help you market this event. Will you have affiliate partners? Will you run something like a Bring a Friend contest? What ways are you going to look to other people to help support this event? Brainstorm these methods, not just from the perspective of what you already know is a yes. Think back to that process of brainstorming undeniable yeses. We wanted to write down the good, the bad, and the ugly, all so that then you can sort through them and see patterns. The same goes here. Who are the people involved in this event? What's the pattern there? Are you really gravitating toward people who are personally local to you, for example? Is your collaborative team going to be people that can actually come over and be a part of an in-person meeting with you? Maybe they even stream that day. Maybe all of your speakers are local and they come to your studio to stream live on the day of your event. That'd be amazing. But that's a pattern that you would have to decide on pretty early on in the process to establish whether that's the direction you want to go versus being able to invite people all over the world, whether you're pre-recording or people are coming and streaming live on the day of your event. It all comes back down to your goals, and it comes back down to finding those patterns of what's resonating with you. You've seen I've come up with ideas after idea just by brainstorming here, and I'm not even writing it down. Imagine what it would be like if you wrote those things down and what ideas you might come up with. You want to keep this idea energy running throughout your project, so long as it's always pointed in that same direction of your goals. Your goals are your North Star, and they will take you where you want to go if you follow them. So coming back around to the name of this portion of the event planning process, which is real, begin with the people, but don't stop there. Look for the real, authentic benefits that you can bring in as a part of your event. How can you benefit yourself? How can you benefit your attendees? How can you benefit the other people involved? And how can the other people involved benefit each other? This is how you run an event that truly will elevate your network.